And now let's talk more about the magical ACL history with Liz Antaramian, the Director of Archives here at Austin PBS. Liz, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So Liz, you've brought some amazing historical treasures for us to look at. So we're going to start with my personal favorite. We're going to look at this lovely dress. This is a dress I would actually wear today. So can you tell us about this dress and who wore it, Liz?
Yes, so this dress was actually worn and made by Nanci Griffith, beloved Texas singer and songwriter. And when she got the call to be on the show, you know, it's for any musician, it's such an honor.
Absolutely.
And so she immediately went to the store and wanted to look like a bouquet of flowers. And so she bought this fabric, she made the dress by herself. And by herself. And my personal favorite is that she knew what every woman needed when it comes to wearing dresses, and she made her own pockets.
Stop. Oh my gosh, wait, I want to look at that. Yeah, so and they're deep pockets too.
They are. So they could even hold a cell phone today.
Ahead of her time.
Absolutely. And I just love the level of detail and, you know, this tiny stitching that she did, you know, almost that invisible stitching that showed that she was more than just, you know, a creative singer-songwriter, but she was also creative in many other ways.
Oh, she's a real artist. Like I said, I would wear this. If my waist were as snatched as hers, I would like absolutely walk away with this. And so you have another really cool item for us to look at. And this next item is the actual videotape reel from the original pilot episode. And you may be thinking, yes, of course, the Willie Nelson show, we know this, but actually there's more to the story. Liz, can you please explain?
Yes, so this is the film reel. And if you see the date, it actually has October 16th, 1974. And we all know that October 17th, 1974 is a big date in our history. But what a lot of people don't know is that B.W. Stevenson was the first artist to actually record with Austin City Limits. The reason why we're not celebrating it as the pilot episode, though, is because, you know, when you try something for the first time, you try to see if it works. And so the day before, you know, B.W. Stevenson was actually better known at the time. So came in, did the performance, but there was kind of an empty audience.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and so, you know, it was just people weren't really sure what was going on. So then the very next day, word had gotten around that our very own redheaded stranger from Texas, Willie Nelson, who was really disillusioned with the Nashville scene, and that's why his hair is so short, you know, came in. But when you watch the pilot episode and you compare it to some of our other episodes, you'll notice that people aren't really singing along as much as they would be because he wasn't as well known at the time. So they were taking it all in and really enjoying it. But, you know, if the B.W. Stevenson reel had actually gone to air, you would have seen the people that had been there really engaging with the music at the time.
The ACL lore is going very strong right now. If there's like any ACL trivia leagues now, you guys are going to absolutely own.
Yes.
And speaking of our king, Texas legend Willie Nelson, we have something especially cool. Liz, please tell us about this microphone here.
Yes, so any eagle-eyed fans will notice that this is the microphone that Willie Nelson used on the pilot episode of Austin City Limits.
Wow, this is like, I don't even want to touch it. I feel like it's sacred, it's hallowed. And what did you told me something so funny before we started this interview. Like Willie's DNA is still on
Yes, it's still on this microphone. So to know that, you know, when you see the video and you can see him getting so close to it, you know that, you know, there's essence of Willie Nelson on this microphone.
Yeah, if you wanted to clone him, right?
You probably could.
And we also want to highlight one last artifact. We weren't unfortunately able to bring it into the studio today. It's quite massive, but we do have images we want to show you. And that is, of course, the famous Austin City Limits beer table. And Liz, I understand some very well-known Texans have actually helped serve beer to the ACL studio audience over the years.
Yes, so the 7-foot-long wood table is kind of the unsung hero of the Austin City Limits crew, or unofficial member of the crew. And so back in the UT days, we were able to serve free beer on these tables. So what better way than to go see free music and get free beer? Such a cheap date.
I'm there.
Yeah. And during the election cycles, former First Lady Laura Bush was actually one of the beer volunteers.
Wow.
Yeah, so talk about really being a true Texan, this 7-foot-long table, interacting with, such famous people.
That is wild. And I wonder if anyone that maybe was served a beer by Laura Bush is thinking about it now like, wait, was that the Laura Bush that like served me a beer back in the day?
Absolutely.
we need to do some investigative journalism and track some of those people down. I want to know how she served those beers. And you know, Liz, having these historical artifacts, it's so fascinating, but why is it important to preserve these artifacts over the years?
Yeah, so it's really important to preserve this, not just for the historical value, but for the research value as well. I think a lot of what we aim to do in the world of archiving is to make sure that items, information, and artifacts are accessible by the public. And we have such a wonderful community here in Central Texas and beyond that, you know, it would be almost criminal to keep this behind closed doors so people couldn't actually get excited about these. I mean, when you see a dress like this and you get a story, it really just brings it home. You know, that this is what Austin City Limits means, not just to the audience, but to the artists. And I think that's so important.
It is important, and it's such a powerful visual reminder of how far ACL has come and what a great tangible way to introduce it to the next generation, because 50 years long, we need another 50 years, Liz.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Liz.
Yeah, absolutely.
Truly a treasure trove of items, and much more than this I know is in your office. Thank you so much for explaining and showing us.
Likewise. Thank you so much.